Have you ever heard it been said, or had it been said to you, that a young person should go out and sow their wild oats and should do those things that pertain to rebellious youth or rebellious young adults? Well, that is not necessarily the case. It is not the case. A young adult does not have to go out and live a rough life in order to accomplish their early times of life. In Genesis chapter 24, we find the story of Abraham sending his servant to get a wife for his son Isaac, which you have to understand, arranged marriages such as this was completely acceptable. Abraham is speaking to his servant, says, I will make thee swear by the Lord, the God of heaven and the God of the earth, that thou shalt not take a wife unto my son of the daughters of the Canaanites among whom I dwell. But thou shalt go unto my country and to my kindred, and take a wife unto my son Isaac. So we find here that Abraham did not want Isaac intermingling with the heathen that he was living amongst. And in verse number 6, Abraham said unto him, Beware that thou bring not my son thither again. What's he speaking of here? He says, don't bring my son back into the land from whence I came. That would be out of God's plan. That would be out of God's will. Don't let my son intermingle with these people in the land that I'm living now who are pagan and who serve not God. And definitely don't take my son away from me into the land from whence I came. We find application for this amongst us now. A child, as they grow up, should not be expected to make the same mistakes that we make. You say, well, they're young and they'll do. That does not mean they have to live the same kind of life that you used to live. And that does not mean that they'll have to intermingle with the people and the thoughts, the works of this world. So we find it is not what a young person should do to go out and to sow their wild oats. Why? Because you always reap more than what you sow. You sow a little bit of this, you'll reap a lot more of it. Abraham is giving us a picture here. You should not expect your young person, or any young person, or if you're a young person listening to me, you do not have to sow your wild oats. You do not have to intermingle with the world. You should stay separate. No matter how not cool it may seem, you should still be separate. Don't intermingle with the world that we're living in. And don't go back and live the mistakes of anybody else over again.